Yeah, now, my people, it's your guy, the Ninja Englishman, and we are here on the Armoury TV, and we're discussing wingers. Obviously, Pepe made some statements earlier on, got the whole fan base nervous. Is he staying? Is he going? We don't know. We definitely need a winger, but is that winger a refreshed Pepe or a new guy in the transfer window? Let's find out. My people, we are here. Armory settings, and I've got a great panel alongside me. We've got my guy to the right, Gunner King. How you doing, my bro?
All good, man. All good. Just jumped off the space, mate. Graveyard shift here, man. Out of the frying pan into the oven, man.
Love that, love that. And we're
Putting
definitely
the
going to
work
bring
in.
some of those arguments from the space right here. So big up everyone from the spaces that's in the comment section. Big up that. Also, our man from down under. I think it's been a minute since we've seen him on the Armory TV, but back by popular demand, we got man like Aussie Gooner. How you doing, bro?
Oh, mate, still kicking, mate. Still kicking, swinging, doing everything I got to fucking do as an Arsenal fan, mate. I'm knocking
Love
out Spurs fans left, right, and fucking centre, mate, trying to knock sense into them, mate. But it's a lot. I've got to keep knocking them. I've noticed that it doesn't take one or two hits. It takes about 50 odd. But I don't mind none. I don't mind none. I don't mind fucking swinging all the time. It's all good, bro.
They're a persistent bunch, aren't they? These Spurs lot. They're a persistent bunch now. But
Yeah.
I think Conte's got them a little bit too excited. I hear people telling me that they feel they have the feelings that they can go for a major title. I think those feelings are maybe just because it's a little bit hot in the UK. The feelings have changed because they don't know what title winning feeling even feels like because none of them have experienced it in their lifetime. So I don't know what they're feeling, but it's not a major trophy. But anyway,
Nah,
enough about
mate.
Spurs. They
Nah,
got
I mean,
enough
look,
time on our screen.
ain't won shit since the 60s, and they're telling me they're going to win shit now. Oh, fucking hell.
Delusional, bro. Delusional.
Bro,
You got
Arsenal
enough.
fans are delusional, right? You know what? Spurs fans are always trying to outdo Arsenal. You guys have outdone us in a delusional race. You guys have fucking won that fucking trophy. Well done, the delusional cup.
Big up, big up Spurs. But don't forget, everyone in the comments, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're watching now or whether you're watching later, definitely hit the subscribe button. But guys, obviously, I know you all saw the comments from Pepe talking about how he's changed a few things and he's ready for the up and coming season, something along those lines. So let's deal with the Pepe thing first, and then we'll go into the other links real quick. Gunner King, keep Pepe, sell Pepe. What are you saying?
I think we should cash in on it, personally. I think we should sell him. I think, yeah, we spoke about this in the space. You could see that Saka was burnt out last season. He played 37 games. I don't think the plan at the beginning of the season was for Saka to play that many games. I think the fact that he wasn't rested or rotated showed that Arteta doesn't really trust him to come off the bench and offer something else. So at that point, whenever I see that with a player, that for me immediately alludes to him not fitting Arteta's system. I don't think he's a bad player, but I just think Arteta's wide players, he wants them to be involved in the press from high up. He also wants them kind of, up and down the wing, like coming back, to help your fullback, and things like that. And I think these two key fundamentals, when you look at Martinelli's game, when you look at Saka's game, you can see them there. And I think if you can't come on and carry out the same function, doesn't make Pepe a bad player because when he played at Lille, he played, against defensive lines that were mostly higher, where he was allowed to kind of push up and stay up and play off the shoulder of the last defender more. But that's not how Arsenal are looking to play. So for that reason, I would cash in and look to maybe reinvest the money and bring in some in his possession that fits the system more.
Okay, and I agree with you. Like I'm not one to call Pepe a bad player, and I've had different periods of Pepe. You know me and Pepe. Sometimes I'm like, give him a chance, and sometimes I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing? But just like you, I've reached boiling point with him. He's not a bad player. I can see him doing better at maybe a less pressure club right now or in a different league. But for Arsenal, I think it's time to move on. Aussie, are you in the agreement with me and Gunner, or do you have another stance on it?
Look, I'm up for Pepe leaving, but we have to replace him with someone of decent quality. If I'm not going to get someone decent in, if I'm going to end up with a Marquinhos signing as my replacement for Pepe, I'm not interested. I know he doesn't bring too much. I know Pepe's a little bit weak on the ball. I know he's got his faults and his flaws, but I'm not interested in going out there spending 12 to 13 million pounds on a player that's supposed to replace him, and he's absolutely appalling. But if we're able to get ourselves a decent winger to replace him, yeah, I'm ready to sell him tomorrow. Like literally, it just hasn't worked out. Just you did great in the French league. He was doing bits over there.
Yeah.
Came over to the Premier League, and he just hasn't been able to do it. And it's just not the right fit at Arsenal. So end of the day, for his own career, for Arsenal, it's time to move on. And it's just goes to show that just because he's doing bits in the French league doesn't mean much. When you come to the Premier League, it's a different fucking ball game. And you know what I mean? Like he's playing the same game, but it's a different game, if you know what I mean. So
right.
Yeah, look, if it's quality signing, yeah, Pepe's got to go out the door. And hopefully for some decent dollars.
Yeah. Okay, so you brought up the money thing, and Jason had an interesting comment. He said, as much as we all want to sell Pepe, we have to accept we aren't going to get 20 mil for him. Just need to cut our losses on him and move on. You don't think we could even get 20 mil for him?
No, I think we can get
like
we can get 20 to 25 mil. Yeah, I think we can get that. I wouldn't. I'd be a bit disappointed if we went below that to sell him.
Yeah, personally, and I don't know, like even though I want him to leave, a part of me feels a little bit sorry for Pepe because of how it's really gone for him at Arsenal. Because till date, whether Emery, whether the little segment of Ljungberg, or whether Arteta, I don't think he's had 5 games back to back ever in his Arsenal career. I don't know if I'm right with that. I don't think he's had 5. He's had maybe 3 in a row, but he's not had like a proper let me really find myself. But on top of that, I don't think he's really taking his chances with both hands. Like, because with Pepe, you either get a 9 out of 10 or a 3. Like, there's no like 6 or 7 in between. He does something mad, or it's a 3 out of 10. Do you guys agree with that? Or
it is topsy-turvy, isn't it? It is. Sometimes he's absolutely majestic. Other times you're just wondering, has he ever fucking played football in his life? It's seriously, like sometimes you just think to yourself, you're making mistakes that are just fucking that are childish. Oh, look who's in the fucking chat, Munzie. What the fuck are you doing, mate?
Munzie,
go crawl back into your do me a favor, go crawl back into your fucking cave where you belong, mate.
Bro,
you're hibernating, mate.
They just dropped 60 million on Lisandro Martinez, so they're all excited. They're all coming out of the woodworks like now, saying he's top 5 centre backs in the world, all that, blah 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 blah. We'll finish below United. Like, really? Are you sure about this, Munzie? Because when I was on your show yesterday, you didn't have any of this talk, but now in the comment section, you're running your mouth. All right, we'll see. We'll remind you of that statement come the back end of the season. Big up, man, like Canners, afternoon, gents. I feel we should give one more season. What? Like, are you in the wrong stream, Canners? Like, we're talking about Pepe here, bro, just in case you thought you're in a different stream. One more season. The squad is looking decent. I actually feel he has one more season to drive up his price. But I hope he does enough to win the fan. But I just don't think Arteta will give him the time to prove to the fan base because of the experience in the previous season. So as much as I'd love for Pepe to have maybe even lit up preseason and be like, yo, like maybe we should give him a chance. But he looked so uninterested in all the games. And if you saw, I don't know if you guys remember the Orlando game, he played like 60 minutes. Nothing, no chances, nothing exciting. Saka comes on within 90 seconds. We've had a chance. Like, it's just, there's just so much levels to this. And I'm sure you all agree, if we went on ability, Pepe is more gifted than Saka. Let's be honest, ability-wise. But in terms of who uses their ability better, Saka does. He's consistent with it. Because even if he's not scoring or giving an assist, even if Saka's not on his game, he will give us something, whether that's tracking back defensively or making a nuisance of himself. And I just don't think Pepe does enough of that for me. So I think
Ozil vibes.
I'm not gonna get into Ozil stuff today.
I'm just saying it's the same sort of vibe, you know. He's either shows up or he's fucking missing, bruh. You know what I mean? It doesn't offer you nothing going back. Fuck, it sounds like Mesut Ozil there, man.
I have a lot to say about the Ozil situation, so I'm gonna leave that for a separate stream between me and you, Aussie, because I know it'll go off in here from what you just said. So we'll keep it moving for now. But I guess everyone on the panel, I'm sure you'd say we're in agreement. We all want Pepe to move on. We're not saying he's a bad player, but it's just time, right? It's that crossroads part where you're in the last 2 years of your contract. Sorry, we either sell you to cash in or we renew your contract. We're definitely not renewing his contract, so he's going to be even. So there's no point in keeping him. But with that being said, one of the biggest wingers that we're linked with currently is Cody Gakpo. And I'm hearing a lot of more, every day goes by, I'm hearing more and more news about this player. And I'm going to let you lead this, Gunner, because you're probably a bigger fan than anyone on the panel right now of this guy. So let the audience know why you have a high opinion of this player and whether you think
what I spoke about on the space is what I've always said about the left side. You know, a lot of people are talking about getting cover on the right-hand side. And obviously, you know, Rafinha was looked at. You know, Bojan is apparently being looked at. Sane has been looked at. But for me, I think the left side is actually more pressing. The reason being, we've got Saka on the right, we've got Vieira who can play on the right. We do have Marquinhos in the squad at the moment. We also have Jesus who can play across the line, so he's able to play on the right. On the left-hand side, we have Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Jesus who can play on the left. However, I think with Martinelli and Smith Rowe, I see them as players that are developing to play in other positions in the future. I see Smith Rowe being more of a central midfielder, an 8 or a 10, and I see Martinelli being becoming more of a 9 in the future, more of a striker. I think his game is developing on the left, but I wouldn't think that he would play there for the rest of his career. So for me, I think I would like to bring someone, you know, who does play on the left. Gakpo mostly plays on the left. He's played on the right. He's played centrally as well. So he can play in all 3 positions. So he offers good depth across the whole line. But what he offers is a goal threat. You know, like he likes to cut inside from that left-hand channel and shoot. We all know the last time we had a great player that used to like doing that. You know, like. And it has been spoken of him playing in that mold, you know, coming in from that left channel, looking to get a shot on goal, looking to take players on as well, you know, and just have that direct ability to run at players, but to run in behind as well and get on the end of chances. I think our right side and our central midfield with players like Odegaard and Saka is very creative, you know, getting balls into the box from that side that he can run onto. You know, so yeah, I think he could develop very well into that role on the left. And I also think if we are short of a central striker, he can play in the middle as well and translate the goal threat that he has from that wide area to a central position. He's 6'2" as well. So I think his game could be developed to get on the end of chances in the air as well. And I think that's another thing that Arsenal have missed for a while, is someone that can get on the end of chances when we're looking to put balls into the box in the air. So yeah, like that's what I like him.
So Gunner, I love what you're saying, innit? Actually, let me invite our late comer into the building. Man like Kanebi, Tunnel TV. How you doing, bro? We just woke him up. Looks like.
He's still yawning. Still yawning, this bloke. What, you just wake up?
I had a crazy night last night. That's all I can say.
Big up the crazy night crew. My guy, man. How you doing, though? Good?
I'm good, man. What's popping, man? What's happening?
We're good. Just so everyone knows in advance, it's Kanebi's birthday tomorrow. So make sure everyone in the comment section wishes him happy birthday on Tunnel TV's page tomorrow. Big up, bro.
Cheers, man. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
But we're just talking about Cody Gakpo, and Gunner King had some good comments in terms of his versatility, his height, his goal threat, and the fact that Martinelli's looking to eventually move into the middle, so it wouldn't be that much of a he wouldn't be taking anyone's position, I guess. Do you agree with those sentiments? And do you think we should go and buy him, or too much of a risk?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Cody Gakpo. Well, thing about Cody Gakpo, I think, is he really a priority right now with Pepe still in that team? And from what I saw on Instagram, Pepe seems like he wants to stay. He wants to still prove his worth. He still has a point to prove. So the most important thing is, if Cody Gakpo is coming in, somebody has to go. Who is going to go? I don't see any. I've not seen any. Yeah.
Let's assume that Pepe is leaving, because we discussed about Pepe a little bit earlier in the show. Like, let's assume Pepe is leaving, and let's assume need another winger. Is Gakpo the guy?
I don't think he's the guy. He's a good player, but we're training another young player again. We need somebody to. We need a 25-year-old, like you saw what Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus has added to the team. That experience, that ready now player who's ready to pop off at in instant, because we already have Marquinhos, who we have to develop again. We're still developing Marquinhos. Let's be honest, we're still developing Martinelli. We're still developing Smith Rowe. So how many players do we want to develop? I think we need a player like who's 25, who's been there, done that, can motivate these boys when their heads when you need to win the game, when the game is not going your way, who can create brilliance, create magic. We had that. We were trying to get that in Rafinha, but unfortunately, he wanted to go to Barcelona, which was out of our hands. But I still think if we're going for a winger, we should not be going for Cody Gakpo. Has great potential, but right now where we are, we have too many young players. We need some experience.
So how about I throw a little bit of a spanner in the works? Because I'm feeling you on this, bro. You're talking experience. You're talking about some class. You're talking about a decent player. I'm talking about Marco Asensio.
But Asensio hasn't done it in the last 2 years.
No, he hasn't. He didn't have a bad season last season. He had about 11, 12 goals last season. And to be perfectly honest,
games as well. He played over 30. He played over 30 games as well last season.
Yeah, but he's playing in La Liga. He's not playing in the Dutch league.
If you gave me an option of, if you told me I had to, my options were Asensio or Gakpo, I would pick Asensio personally. As much as
because he can play in the middle, he can play on the right, and he can play on the left. He's more versatile.
And I think his game has developed more than Gakpo's has.
Gakpo could be the next best thing, but right now, I think Asensio can come in and do. And I'm not saying he's going to come and kick, knock in 15, 20 goals, but he can come and do a job now.
Right.
What of Bowen? We'll be linked to Bowen.
Jared Bowen, yeah, I'll rate him.
He's actually a very good West Ham player. Last season he was very good, and he's a pressing forward. He presses, he's aggressive, and he has an eye for goal. We've been linked.
Okay,
we've been linked to him.
I'll ask you this question because I thought very hard about Bowen coming to Arsenal. But this is the question I have for everyone in the panel. Is Bowen good enough on the right wing for us to move Saka to the left?
Yeah.
No.
You get the question I'm asking, right?
I wouldn't want to, but he can also play on the left, and he's also played in the centre as well as a false nine.
So you're saying Bowen
versatility is what you're saying, Gunner King,
will give us as much, if not more, than Saka would on the right. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, but I mean, in a worse team, he got more goals than Saka last season, and he also got as many assists as well. So I don't think you can ignore that. I think he can give you a lot wherever he plays. Bowen, I think.
And he scored against us. He's always scoring against us. He's always scoring against us.
Canada's is saying he won't go for any less than 60 mil.
Bowen will be expensive, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
no,
And
that's
he'll
true.
want to play as well. You know, like I think, yeah, like I'm for it, but I think if you compare getting him to Gakpo, I think Gakpo comes in and thinks I have to work my way into this squad. I think Bowen would want to play because he's playing for West Ham at the moment, game in, game out. You know, like then you've got who's it going to be? Saka, Bowen, Martinelli. You know, like I'm not saying I don't like that problem. It's a good problem to have, but you just got to accept it comes with its own challenges. You know.
For sure. For me, my issue was I don't think in our system he would be better than Saka on the right. Like, for example, when we were in for Rafinha, I was all for it because I believe he's a better player than Saka confidently. So putting Saka on the left, it wouldn't like reduce our quality in any way, shape, or form. I just don't know with our style. Obviously, David Moyes and Arteta played two completely different systems as well. So how would it work? I'm not saying it's as Gunnar said. I'm not saying it's a bad signing, and if we signed him, I'll get behind it and all that. But I believe there's better options if we're gonna put Saka on the left, for example. Like
I think Saka's best position is on the right. Actually, he plays better on the right.
for sure. So if we're gonna
owns that
sacrifice
right
on the left, that means we've got to get a player that's at least, probably for me, can give us more than Saka on the right. If we're gonna put him on the left in a position he's not as good at, do you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, hey Munzi, why would Burn drop down to you lot? Like, I'm not even gonna entertain it with a response, bro. You know what it is, mate. I want Sam Maximum. Do you know what? Like, as much as I like Sam Maximum's dribbling ability, I just don't think his end product's at the level for us just yet. He's very good in
He's
tight
finishing, yeah.
spaces, for sure. But
Might as well keep Pepe for getting some maximum. Man.
Facts. But taking it all the way back.
Saint Maximin's better. I mean, he's got way more of an impact than Pepe. Like
he's a better player, but he's not going to do.
But if
what
both
we
players
want,
are one,
Gakpo would do better than Saint Maximin.
I mean, sometimes I think, yeah, like I don't know, like what would his output be like in a better team? You know, that creates better chances for him. That because let's face it, Newcastle for a long time,
yeah,
you know, they haven't. You know, obviously they're improving their team now. And I agree. By the way, I do feel that his end product lets him down in a lot of situations. But yeah, I think sometimes you can put someone in a better team and a better environment, and that fixes that problem. Do you know what I mean? Because they're instantly playing with better players. You know, like you know, I think you'll see a lot more from Rafinha, and obviously Rafinha did very good at Leeds as well. But him playing with those players at Barcelona, his game's just going to go to a next level.
He's a beast in preseason, though.
Just from the players he's playing around, you know, like the uplift in their quality, like brings up your own quality. So maybe you could see that with Saint Maximin. But I like him as a player. I think he's good. And I kind of want someone that has that direct kind of running style that can just run at players, you know, like take them on, engage them, like
Memphis.
Wait, nah, not in our system, man. Not in our system.
Why not?
Sure. Well, where would you play him on the left?
Yeah.
In the Premier League.
Nah, yeah. Memphis is a good player right now. He's matured. He's physical, and watching for Holland, he scores a lot of goals too. So you can't really knock him off, right?
No, you're right. He's a good player, but I would rather utilize him as a false nine than on the left in the Premier League. I just don't think he was tracked back enough to help us defensively on that side as well. He's more, let's get in the box and focus on the attacking end. He's a good player, but I don't know. But taking it all the way back to Gakpo, as I said, I like the player, but if I want to bring in a winger now, I was saying this on the spaces as well. If I'm going to bring in a winger now, I need him to give me more than Martinelli now. Not Martinelli in a year. I need it now, bro.
Respectfully, Nigerian administration, I just find that logic flawed if we've accepted, you know, like you agree as well, that Martinelli's future isn't going to be on the left.
Exactly.
But he's going to start this season on the left.
Smith Rowe's future isn't going to be on the left. Sure. If you're bringing in a player that plays there, and if you're bringing in, and if you've got players in the squad that you see eventually not being in that position, then I'm just not sure on the relevance on them having to be Martinelli's standard. And I think he gives you more
I'll
goals.
tell you why.
I think he
This
gives
is
you
why.
more goals from that position because he understands playing on the left more. It's Martinelli growing up, yeah. Martinelli, when he was developing his game as a child, was playing as a central striker. Sometimes he was playing wide. It wasn't the other way around. Do you know what I mean? So he's developed his game playing as a central striker. Arsenal have then reverted him to playing on the left. It's not his natural position. Whereas Gakpo naturally plays on the left. Even when he plays as a striker, he drifts into that left channel. Do you see what I mean? And comes inside. So he brings a more specialist knowledge of playing in that position. I think that's important.
To be honest, that you are right with that. But my question is, the reason why I need him to give me more than Martinelli, hear me out, is because first of all, from pre-season, it looks like Martinelli's definitely at least starting the season on the left-hand side. That's pretty clear right now from how it's looking. There's no one else that's going to take his place. So for me, I don't think Martinelli is a good enough left winger if we're talking about top 4 this season. For me, he's good, don't get me wrong, but as a left winger, we need someone that can give us more on the left instantly. And that also allows us to maybe transition Martinelli into the central role a lot quicker as well. I'd rather be using Martinelli as a backup striker than bringing in a Gakpo to play through the middle as well. Just because I don't think he's ready to hit the ground running right now.
But how old is Gakpo? How old is Gakpo?
22.
22. How old is Martinelli?
Martinelli's
21.
Exactly. They're both learning their trade. Whether you like it or not, they're still both young players. Gakpo still has a lot to learn, and he's coming in from the Dutch league. So I don't see him coming in and firing all cylinders too. So it's the same thing. We need someone
that can do that, right?
For me, I think Zinchenko and Jesus are enough for like more experience for us. I'm not saying we shouldn't bring in more experience. I'm not saying that isn't something that we need to do, because we do. But I'm just saying it doesn't mean every player that we bring in has to be, like that kind of player. Like, I think.
Are we signing for the bench, or are we signing to start? Because I'm a bit confused here. Because if we're signing, are we signing strictly for the bench, or are we signing for a possible left wing replacement? What are we doing? Because if Gakpo is going to be a
replacement, not a.
You want a replacement?
I want a replacement.
Gunner King, what are you looking for?
I don't want a replacement for Martinelli. And the reason being,
so that's where the arguments are different.
Yeah, I don't want that. And the reason I'm saying that is because Martinelli last season, you say like you don't think he was good enough to get us in top 4 on the left.
I think he's fine. I think he didn't have enough support from the center of the park.
I think what I was going to say is I think if you put him in a system with a better central striker, like we've seen in pre-season, like what I just said about the improvement of Rafinha playing with better players, I think you'll see an improvement in Martinelli playing with Gabriel Jesus, who's better than Lacazette, and also is like a compatriot who's older, who's kind of like developing him. I think if you bring in a player that's better than Martinelli now, you halt that development. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see Martinelli develop playing
I had this argument with you, Nigel. I had this argument with you.
And whereas I think if you bring someone else in who's developing as well, then the rotation between the two is healthy. The competition between them is healthy. And also, as I said, Gakpo, for me, what I've really liked about what Arteta's done is he's brought in players that can play in 2 or 3 positions. You've got someone that can change the game playing up front or on the right as well. And it's the same with Jesus. Jesus played across the whole front 3 as well. I think what happens is if you do have injuries, then you've got more depth as well as quality. Do you know what I mean? Where you can say, all right, Jesus has picked up a little injury. Let me put Nketiah up front, put Gakpo on the left. Martinelli needs a rest. Or, let me put Martinelli up front and put Gakpo on the left. You've got like just all these iterations, all these options where you can like sort of change the dynamic of your front 3.
No, and look, you guys have got really good points, both you and Kanebi, and they are very valid. But the reason why my stance is different is because I don't. This might sound really harsh. I'm an Arsenal fan before I'm a Martinelli fan or anyone else. I don't care if it stunts Martinelli's growth. If we secure Champions League football and potentially win a trophy, that's all I'm going to care about at the end of the season. For me, I need to be like, if Saka's not in our front three, whoever comes in, we don't miss him too much. I want someone with that sort of quality that can play on both wings. That's what we need if we really are serious about being a big club.
Whose fault is that? It's not Martinelli's fault. It's Pepe's fault. You can't blame Martinelli.
For sure,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like,
you can't.
This is the problem we have, though.
But the thing is, it's not about anyone's fault when it comes to being. When it comes to the squad, it's about trying to get the best squad on the pitch to get the 3 points. It's not Jesus' fault, Ramsdale's fault, my fault, or your fault that we're going to have better players that are going to be in the pitch and some that are going to be on the bench. It's the best man for the job is what you're trying to say, right, Naja? That's what you want. You want the best man for the job now. Exactly. And you know what? Arteta needs to do something this season, not next season. He needs to do something this season. It's make or break for him, not for Arsenal, but for him. So don't get me wrong, Gakpo is a good shout. I worry about players from other leagues that aren't established when they come to Arsenal.
Because Dutch league, Aussie. Like the last two wingers came from there, Ziyech and Bergwijn. We saw what happened with them. I'm not saying that
Ziyech is not the worst of all, but yeah, they didn't hit the ground running. We went to the French league where it's probably a little bit better for us to go and find a player. We got Pepe, that didn't work out either. So that worries me. It worries me that I get rid of Pepe only to get another version of him. Exactly. And that's why I'm sort of with you where I say, why don't we spend, if we're going to go for a winger, and that's not barring that we got other fucking positions that we got to fill, because if they decide not to go for a number 8, we're not doing this winger thing. Fuck that. Yeah. But if we're going to go for an 8 and then go for a winger, then a player, I'm not saying it has to be Asensio, but a player like Asensio comes in, at least then you got a guy who's done it. You got a guy who's been successful. You got a guy with experience, okay? And you got a player that, at least with Zinchenko behind him, knows how to cut behind, knows how to put a pass in, can play number 10 role. If you guys aren't getting a tune out of Odegaard, Asensio as a number 10, he'll get you a tune. He can play the right, he can play the left. But that's the kind of player that's probably going to cost you about 55 million euro.
We already got that in Fabio Vieira. Don't forget that. We haven't seen Fabio.
Yeah, but you ain't seen Fabio Vieira because Fabio Vieira is in a hospital here in Sydney, mate. You know, like, the boot that he got on, it was on the wrong side, so they sent him over to Australia to put the boot on the wrong.
We haven't seen. See, this is the problem. Yeah, we still haven't seen Fabio Vieira. We still haven't seen Marquinhos if he's going to get loaned. So I'm thinking we might be a little bit top heavy if we do not sell maybe Pepe. Somebody has to go. Yeah. Somebody has to go. We have to sacrifice somebody. For me, personally, I think I would do an Aubameyang experiment with Nketiah, play him from the left and buy another top striker. Do you understand?
You see what we touched on there, like what Deji was saying about a striker, obviously, as well. Yeah, like, this is why I think, for me, I think 2-3 players. I think 3 players is a bit. I don't know if they'll go for 3 players, which is why I think, if we got a centre mid and then got a winger who's also adept at playing as a striker, I personally think we don't have enough depth in the striker role as well, which is why the names that I'm linking us to are ones that can also play and operate as a striker. Because for me, Nketiah and Jesus, like, I'm happy with Nketiah's improvement. Don't get me wrong. I think, like, he looks ready he's in pre-season. He looks sharp. He looks to have bulked up and have got, like, a bit stronger, I think, which is going to help him play up front on his own. I've always said, I feel, as a lone striker, I think he suffers because of the lack of the physical presence that he's had. So you can see that he's worked on that in pre-season. However, I just think him and Jesus, as someone in the space that I did before this, made a really good point. I think it was this guy, Fandon, and he said he sees Nketiah developing he sees Jesus being the finished article of the sort of player Nketiah will become once he's developed. So I think their qualities are similar. And if you've got 2 similar strikers and you want to change a game, and you bring on a striker who's got the similar qualities to the last striker that you brought on, are they going to have that? Are they going to change that game? Like, in every instance, like, I think we need to, like, broaden the depth in the striker position as well. And I think that's why we should look at a wide player that can also give us that option.
I hear you, but
Cody
I don't know.
Gakpo is perfect for that, though.
Exactly.
Look, I've not seen him in a 9 role, so I couldn't say. I've only seen him on.
He's played number 9 in the Dutch league. He actually started off as a number 9, but for Holland he plays on the left more. For Holland he plays more on the left. He's tall. He's tall. He's quick. He's pacey. No, he's tall. He's quick. He's pacey. He reminds me of like how Thierry Henry when he was a kid. Tall, quick, just all that pace, and you don't know what to do with it. He needs to just work on his finishing, and I think he can be a very good player when he's maybe 23, 24.
But can he be a good player for us this season? Kanebi?
Yes, he can.
He can, because let's be honest. Let's be honest with you. Look at the pattern Arsenal has been on. All the guys who have brought us through are the kids. It's not the senior boys. It's the kids.
Not the kids from abroad, though.
Exactly.
Well, but if from abroad.
Odegaard came from abroad. Yeah.
Odegaard's not a kid, bro. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Odegaard was a kid when he came.
He was a young player when he came in, bro.
He's a young player, yeah, but he's not a kid.
Do you get what I'm saying? I think
so. And Martinelli,
Tomiyasu, we brought him from another league. We brought him from
23 million.
League, and he was 22 when we brought him.
Bro, you guys are getting me and Aussie mixed up. We're not saying that players from other leagues can't do well. We're not saying that. But we're
just talking about the leagues that you're mentioning.
But
realistically,
we're trying to reduce our risk level. That's what.
But realistically, if you want to get a striker, a top striker, you're thinking about Leroy Sané. Can we get those players? We're not in the Champions League. Are those players going to come? Can we afford the wage bill? Can we afford the money?
Personally, I think it's too early to I feel like we need to actually get Champions League football before we buy players like that, because then the risk goes down. You're not bringing them in on some extortionate wage that you're paying, on some extortionate fee because you're not a Champions League club. Do you know what I mean? They're in the driving seat. He can be like, well, you're making me sacrifice Champions League football. I want 300 grand a week.
Exactly. Yeah, what's in it for me?
Whereas if you get it, then it's then you immediately are more attractive. For me, I just think we need one more season of filling our squad, and I'm not talking about just buying fillers, but I mean creating a solid foundation layer before we try and put on the finishing pieces, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Kieran's put a good comment in. I don't know if you've seen it, Nigel. I was thinking about that myself, and I like that idea, Kieran.
Which one?
Zaha.
The last one. All right. We'll start with the Zaha. We'll get into some of the other comments now, actually. Yeah, Zaha may be an answer if Smith Rowe ain't. Someone said his contract runs out next season, so his price won't be that high. He's an Arsenal fan.
Exactly.
And he can play in for all 3 positions. So
how old would he be?
Okay, Kanebi, I ask you this question.
Kanebi, you can't have every player under the age of 18, bro. We want to go to the club, bro.
I'm going to buy a winger.
He's 29.
He's going to be He's going to be 30 end of the season. Then he's going to be 31 when we sign him. He's going to turn 31 when we sign him.
No,
when is he going to be 30? When is he going to be 30?
Next year. He's 30 next year.
And there's still African Cup of Nations to deal with it, because the African Cup of Nations again come up in January. Man.
World Cup as well. Man.
Man.
This is
going to be a break for that period anyway.
We're not going to see any of those players.
I don't know if you can. Kanebi, I don't know if you can confidently tell me that Cody Gakpo will give us more goal contributions than Wilfried Zaha this season. Can you say that?
Like I said, Cody Gakpo is a young player who has to develop. If we're actually going to go for a top winger, we have to look at the Champions League team. We have to buy from a Champions League team, and that is the fact about it. That's the reality.
No, but the reality is,
that reality is not always possible, is it?
Exactly.
We have to go for a different market then, which is Zaha is the market I'm talking about.
If you're going to Crystal Palace right now, you're going to pay at least £50 million to Crystal Palace. You're going to pay at least 15 million. Why is the
29-year-old with 1 more year on his contract?
Exactly.
Can we be serious?
If you're talking about Trossard, I would say, okay, fine, no problem. but not Zaha. Zaha is old for me. We're looking at 25-year-olds right now. 25-year-olds, 25-year-olds.
You know what I will say that I don't like about Zaha's game? I think he's a good player, don't get me wrong. And I like competitive players, like fiery players. But for me, like, it's been shown a few times, like, people have got in his head. You know what I mean? Like, where they just give him a little kick, a few digs here and there, and he starts squaring up at players, starting fights. Like, he doesn't control his emotions when he plays. Like, and when he's in that emotional rut, yeah, like when the mist is kicked in, you see him like trying to do too much. You know what I mean? Like trying to like overcommit and overextend in what he's doing. I have never liked this about his game. I've never liked it. That's the one thing I'll say.
He has an Ian Wright tendency.
His technical.
Look how good Ian Wright was, bro. You get what I'm saying? Hey, I love a bit of fire. I love a bit of fire.
Don't get me wrong.
Who doesn't, mate? Who doesn't?
He's got sent off 4 times in his whole career.
Listen,
he's 29 years old.
Fire's all good, bro. But if I was to name a different player's name, Granit Xhaka, what would you say about Fire then?
Yeah, that's not fire. That's stupid. With fire, it's a mixture of two.
Zaha's equally been sent off in some stupid situations where he just needed to shut his mouth, stop talking to refs. Do you know what I mean? Stop squaring up to other players. He has done these things as well. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like,
but he's 29 years old. He's only got sent off 4 times. I'm okay with that, bro. Xhaka does that in 1 season. I'm okay with that. And I hear you.
Xhaka,
the firiness could come to.
He needs to temper it, bro. He does.
Don't you think we? And I know you had an issue with me talking about. I think it was Guendouzi as well last season. This is where we clashed. I want a bit of nastiness in my team, bro. We need that.
Absolutely. That's why I want us to go get Lucas Paqueta. You know, like I don't mind it, but Paqueta and players like these that he's more like he's smarter about his shithousery. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not getting. He it's more underhand. Do you know what I mean? It's more. It's not like he doesn't lose control when he exercises the shithousery. In fact, he's in perfect control when he exercises the shithousery. With Zaha, you see, with what I'm talking about with Zaha and Guendouzi is they lose their head. Like they like the miss kicks in, and there's no control in what they're doing, and there's no control in that nastiness. And when you don't have the control with the nastiness, it tends to cost your team. That's the difference.
All the time. Like, even when Vieira did it, we could get away with it because we had a great team that, you know, they could always bring in Ray Parlour and Ray Parlour, you know, work it all out. But this team, once you get a red card, man, that's the end of the game, man. That's the end of the game. That is the end of the game.
Guys, you know, like what's going on here, bro? The guy has no, you know what it is. It's like
this. Go, Nana. You go for it.
No, even worse. I just actually checked the stats. He's been sent off twice in his career, and you lot are talking about losing his head and getting sent off and losing.
No, but he does though. Like look. If you watch him, listen.
Sometimes that makes him play better though.
If you watch him, like sometimes he doesn't get sent off. That's not the point I'm making. Sometimes once a defender has got in his head, it affects his performance for the rest of that game because he's not concentrating. He's focusing on getting one-upmanship and brinkmanship and trying to get that player back. And he has shown in games. He has shown in games that you can get in his head, and when you do, it can affect the way he plays. Maybe he doesn't get sent off, but I've seen performances where defenders have done this to him. I've seen it, bro. Like
I know what Gunner King is talking about.
Seen it too, so like
I know what you're talking about. Zaha gets wind up very easily. It's very easy to wind him up. If you're a defender, you wind him up, you fuck up his game. His game get fucked up.
I'm talking from experience because I was like this as well. Like when I played, like well, you know, do you know what I mean? Like some players had a certain way of winding me up. Yeah, like and I just lost the concentration on what I should be doing and what I should be focusing on. So I know all about this, I'm telling you, Zaha has that.
Let me land. And you lot aren't lying. I've seen the fieriness that you lot are talking about. But that fire, I've also seen that fieriness turn into him bossing the whole game. Get that defender getting into his head to rile him up to go and win the game for his team. I've seen that happen too. And you lot can't deny that either. I've seen him come to the Emirates on back-to-back seasons and turn over our whole team. and he's an Arsenal fan, and he's been twerking for us for how many years? It's his last big chance of a big move, bro.
Bruh,
We should.
I don't want him.
Premier League proven.
I don't want.
No problem.
So who do you want,
Back into the comments, though.
Who do I want?
Hold on,
Yep.
wait, Kanebi. Hold that thought. Let me see if some of these comments help you out. Shay said Bowen is equally as good as Saka. His stats incites that, but British tax is going to make him costly.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
The British tax part, I agree with.
Yeah, fucking have.
Bowen is not equal in quality to Saka, bro. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
don't be GA merchants, please. Don't do that GA thing.
I think he might be a better finisher at this stage in his career. And he was originally a striker. So I'd expect that. I think in the finishing department, in the shooting department, his game is more developed than Saka's. But I think his overall quality as a player, I don't think is better than Saka's. You know, I think, you know, Saka's passing, his dribbling,
all-round game,
his vision, his all-round game is ahead of Bowen's. I think that's an honest and fair assessment.
No, fair. 100%. I agree with that.
Oh, Saka plays like a senior man. He plays like a pro. He plays like 100%. A senior man.
So I'm not going to ask Kanebi.
He needs to work on his finishing, though. Saka
has more of an impact without scoring or creating a goal. Do you know what I mean?
But as Kanebi said, he needs to brush up on his finishing. And if he does that...
Against Chelsea, he had a chance against Mendy. I was not impressed with that. He took it to his right foot. That was a very wrong decision. Like, he needs to really work on that. He needs to work on his finishing.
He always takes a second touch. He seems to be what guy's always taking a second touch when he should just slap it. You know what I mean? And that's where Zaha doesn't, but we won't go there, eh?
Yeah,
Zaha is 29, you know.
Zaha, what he does is he just slaps it.
Yeah, like he does. Yeah, like Zaha doesn't like.
Osaka will be a better player.
He doesn't hesitate, Zaha. He just, if there's a shot on goal, he's going for it, and that's what I like about him.
So,
Saka will be a better player than Zaha.
Oh yeah, look, I'm not saying he wouldn't be, but I'm saying right now,
Zaha's better. But
you can't judge a player till he's 23, though. That's me.
If he's playing with other players, bro. So I'm judging.
Because with young players, you always expect inconsistency. That's what I learned from Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger always said, a player is never ready till he's 23. Young players, you always expect inconsistency. You can't expect them to be. Not everybody's going to be Mbappe or Messi. You know, that's one in a million. You know,
but Kanebi, if I'm gonna compare him to someone who's established, I'm not gonna look at those excuses for him. Don't compare.
But that's being too hard on the boy because the boy is not even yet 23, and he's an academy boy.
If you want to compare him to someone who's established, you can't use all the academy boy and stuff. Then don't compare him to that guy. We can't.
I wouldn't do that because that's unfair. Because he's a young boy who's still learning. Zaha is about to reach his prime or past his prime.
Which is why
Saka has so much to learn.
I wouldn't even make that comparison. But what we're saying right now is if we're talking about who's a better finisher right now, it's Zaha. We're not talking about future, the players he's going to become.
It's today.
And we'll deal with that at that today. But Aussie, deal with this one because I know Kanebi likes the player, so he'll be a bit biased with this one.
Well,
so Memphis has a better end product than what we've got on the left presently. So do you think based on that we should sign Memphis, or there's more variables?
Nope.
What are the extra variables why you said no?
The reason why is because Memphis has already had his go in the fucking Premier League, and he done what? He done fuck
like
all.
Kanebi said, he was very young at that time as well, though. Let's be fair.
While he was young, I also think the Man United he was in at that time was not functioning. It was not functional. Like it wasn't a system that he benefited from, and actually he developed his game when he left. At Lyon, he matured, and I think at Lyon and Barcelona sometimes he's played centrally as well.
For Holland,
yeah, for Holland as well. I get what you're saying. Yeah, there is that reservation. There is that reservation. There is that reservation I have from his previous time at United. But I do add caveats to why it didn't work at United. Do you get what I mean? I don't think they did right by him personally, and I think maybe he could have benefited from more time there as well.
I think as a 9
now, kind of then.
Listen, I think there are there's pros and drawbacks. Like I think when he was younger as well, there was like questions around some of his professionalism, and I think like that's got to be
politics
an
here,
important thing
Ghana.
in the
If
squad.
you get him, yes or
No,
no,
I'm
bro.
I'm hashing it out, bro. Let me just hash it out because it's just like for me, I've not really thought about it. I think he brings good experience, good international experience. He's played in the Champions League. He's a good finisher, and he can play across the line. So, I mean, maybe if there was a loan with a purchase option, or you know, I heard they only want 20 million for him. If he takes a massive wage cut as well,
But
he
doesn't
would
that
have
worry
to.
you?
He would have
1
to
year, 1
significantly
year on,
reduce his wage cut.
20 million from Barca. 1 year into his Barca career, they only
No,
want
but
20
you know,
million.
As a
Xavi
bench
doesn't
boy
want
for the
him.
9. As a bench boy for the 9.
Xavi doesn't want him. He's Koeman's signing. Koeman was the head coach of Holland. Koeman was the one who got him. And if you look at all Koeman's guys, Xavi's selling all of them. So Xavi is taking it back to Tiki Taka.
Same with Arteta and Emery. Do you know what I mean? Arteta was prepared for all of Emery's players. He's a good player, but
on the left wing, would you use him? This is the question was like not as a 9, but as a winger, and that's why as a winger I wouldn't. As a backup number 9 or a 9, yes, but not as a left wing.
I would bring him into the squad to just play. Like basically, I would just be like, look, we're going to see where we're going to put you. You can play in any of these 3 positions. You know, like we'll just, you know, I think he can. I'd use him on the left and as a striker. I really feel we need more depth in both positions, and I feel we need depth in those positions more than on the right hand side.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I just want a player that can come in that can help Saka not have to do too much. So I would like a winger that can play on that right as well.
But I think that's what
I think Jesus going to go into the comments from now. Sorry, what were you saying, Kanebi?
But Jesus is going to do that. Jesus is going to take a lot of shoulders off Saka too.
No, but they're both going to play at the same time. Though. That's what I'm saying. I want someone that can come, like Saka can rest a game and a half.
If you look at Bukayo's career, Bukayo hardly gets injured. It's not his fault that he's always available every game. The boy is fit. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, he shouldn't have played as much minutes as we've given him in the last 2 years. We could have spared him at certain moments.
Yeah, but you know, he also played for England.
We've got Jesus, who can play on the right. We've got Vieira who can play on the right. We've got Marquinhos who can play on the right. Do you know what I mean? Odegaard can play on the right. He's done that before as well. There is, like, we don't have the same rotation issues. No, wait, let me finish. Nigel, let me finish. We don't have the same rotation issues already with those players that I named on the right-hand side that we did last season. Agree or disagree?
You still have Pepe.
I have Pepe as well. Do we have the same lack of options on the right-hand side that we had before the end of last season?
Yes.
No, we don't.
Yes,
I've just named. We didn't have Jesus and Vieira that could play on the right last season.
I'll be honest with you. Like Vieira, I wouldn't say that's his strongest position. Him playing on the right, but he can do
more of a 10.
He can do a job. But
he's an 8 or 10, but he did play as an inverted winger on the right as well.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to make an impact in that position this
Why?
season.
Most of all his assists last season came from the right.
Put him there for a game and let's see, bro. It's too early to say, man.
Bro, he was the highest assister in Portuguese league, and they all came from the right.
In the Portuguese league, I understand, bro. He might need some time to adapt. I'm not sure.
But
we haven't seen him yet.
But if he was playing in that
Where did
position,
Ruben Diaz come from?
Then why
Where did Ruben Diaz come from?
No, wait. Sorry. Nigel, let me just strip back what you're saying here. Yeah? If he was playing in that position in the Portuguese league, we are aware there's a difference in quality in the Portuguese league to the English league. But the point being, if he was being effective in that league, in that position, why wouldn't we try to make him effective in that same position in this league? If he's adjusting to this league, why would we put him in a different position to the one he was effective in the previous league? Like you would surely think he could acclimatise playing in the position he played the most in a different league, rather than bringing him to a new league and putting him in a new position.
That's a solid argument. Of course, you want to slot him into the position that he's more comfortable in. But again, the real argument is he's coming from the Portuguese league, and we have who came from the Portuguese league that we played in his comfortable position and did sweet fuck all for us. You know what I mean, guys? So the Portuguese league, it isn't. And I'm not trying to be hard. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm trying to be black and white here. I'm not going to sit here and big up Patrick Vieira, this new Vieira, like he's going to be the next king shit. Now we are covered on the right hand side. We are. We do have cover on the right hand side. Gunner King's right there. On the left hand side, Gunner King, you're saying that we've got Martinelli, but he's more of a number 9. So we really don't have a left wing. That's a fact. You don't. Yeah. So why should I go for someone that
natural position is actually a left-sided winger? Like
that's
the two players we are playing there are not natural in that position.
Exactly.
Like, so that's Vieira is a national right winger, bro.
But we have more options. We have more options there.
Yeah.
And in Saka, we have someone who naturally is a right-sided inverted forward or winger. That is his natural position. That is his best position. Like
the right hand side's covered.
Yeah,
so the right hand side's covered. But our left hand side at the moment, right, is Martinelli. That you're saying that he's more of a number 9, and I agree with you. I think he's going to be more of a number 9. So why am I going to go for a player like Gakpo who isn't really proven anything in the Premier League? Why am I going out for a player who can really do some damage? Why am I going for? He could be good, so he can cover Martinelli. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing what Nigel's saying and saying we should be going for a replacement left wing. So why didn't we do that on the left hand side? Why didn't we go? I'm not saying Marco. Let's say Marco Asensio comes up and is available. Why don't we go for Marco Asensio, a left winger, a player who plays in that position, just like you want a player who plays on the right? I think what we need to do is, instead of having a universal player and every player being a James Milner, is to have a player who plays left back, a player who plays centre attacking mid, a number 8, a right winger, just like Saka. He's a right wing. That's what he does best. He can play on the left. He's played on the left pretty well, but he's a right wing. Jesus is a striker.
No. When I speak of versatility, like I'm not talking about.
Why are we versatile on the left? Why should we be versatile on the left? We're too versatile on the left. Two players, you know what I mean?
The point that I'm saying is, with someone like Gakpo, yes, they are versatile and can play across the line, but the first position and the position he plays predominantly in is the left side. And even when he plays centrally, you see him drift into the left channel anyway. Yeah, like and then come and drift back inside. So you're still buying a player that, in spite of having that versatility, like their preferred position, like with Saka has versatility, but his preferred position, like his best position, I think, is on the right. You know, so at the same time, becomes a development side. But you've got the player that whose strength is playing on that side.
So the left-hand side becomes the side of development, and the right-hand side becomes the side that's clinical. And that means every time the ball gets played, it'll continue to get played to Saka because he's the one who drives the ball well, and he gets doubled up every time. So I know what you're saying, bro, but Gakpo will be a development player. Martinelli is a development player on the left-hand side that's going to a number 9. So we still don't have an out-and-out left wing. Again, if we get Gakpo, he's not an out-and-out left wing. He can play left wing. He can play striker. No, I want a guy who can play left wing. I want a guy who says,
who is this on Pepe again?
What you said about Denver's comments?
I'm not giving Pepe any more chances. Fuck that. He's sold, bro. He's sold, bro. Gunner King bought him. He's washing his car, bro. Right now, cuz. Hey, send him over to mine afterwards, eh? I heard he does a good job.
And anyone's really... No one's really mentioned this player this pre-season.
What Musa Diaby?
For me, I've said, yeah, like in a 4-3-3, he could play as one of the 8s. And in a 4-2-3-1, he can play as one of the 10s. That's where I see like his future being.
In the middle of the park, eh?
I'm in agreement.
He always gets in the middle of the park. He always makes his way there.
Sometimes we have to play him. Yeah. I thought the plan with Smith Rowe and Odegaard was to rotate them when we need something different as a number 10, rather than play them together.
Smith Rowe is not that creative. I don't think
he is creative in a different way. I
don't think he's like Odegaard. Smith Rowe likes to get on the end of things.
Let me tell you how
sometimes different games we need Smith Rowe, and sometimes we just need Odegaard.
Smith Rowe can create chances for other players with his runs off the ball.
Yes.
Like whereas Odegaard creates with the ball, but they are both created, as Nigel said, but they create in different ways. Like when Smith Rowe makes ghost runs, it opens up space for other players, and people forget that is creative. in itself, because you are creating an opportunity or a chance for another player. Do you get what I mean?
You're drawing attention.
You don't chalk it up as an assist. So
I agree.
There's this misconception that Smith Rowe doesn't create. Like, I think Smith Rowe's passing, he can create with his passing as well. Do you know what I mean? But
I think he plays like Ramsey too much. He plays like Ramsey.
He offers more threat as a goal scorer.
Yeah, like Ramsey, just like Ramsey. He plays more like Ramsey, like a midfielder who likes to get on the end of things. For me, that's the way I see it.
But also, one of his strengths, which we don't have a lot of, is he can carry the ball. So that's why I like him as an option sometimes in the middle of the park. So I would prefer he gets more chances as a 10 this season, and maybe even develop into a solid false 9 as well as an option. But you said something earlier about Jesus on the right. I don't want to see that a lot this season. I definitely never want to start a game like that. In a game where we need attackers, I don't mind him going there with Eddie in the middle.
He scored against Liverpool, right? In the 2-2 draw at the Etihad.
I know.
Different team, bro.
No, but what position? He started on the right in that game.
Yeah, but look at the quality around him, bro.
Arteta's brought him in to be a 9. Let's be honest, but he can do it. I don't. But do you see him starting games on the right? I know he'll play on the right, but I don't see him.
I see him starting some games on the right, and I also see him as someone that could be really good on the left. Look at the goal he scored against Chelsea the other day. Where did he ghost in from? The left-hand channel. He ghosted in from the left-hand channel. He got in on goal and he finished. So I don't get where this I get it. We got a new number 9 finally, great, yeah. But I'm saying if he needs to play in another position for whatever reason, then I don't care where he plays and gets goals from. I'm not hung up on it. Like he has number 9. Like if he plays on the left and he starts playing well, and Arteta's like, you know what, you're playing well there and you're enjoying playing there. I'm not moving you. I don't care. Like, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, you're like very hung up on, why are we going to play him on the right? Mate, if he plays on the right and gets 20 goals, do you think you're going to give a fuck?
Yeah, but he's not going to do that.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not going to get enough games.
But if he did that, I'm asking, if he did that, would you care?
Of course not. But that's not we brought.
Exactly.
We didn't bring him in to play on the right, though, Gunner.
So I'm talking about him playing games and being assessed, and wherever he plays best should be where he plays. Like, I'm not inconsistent. Like, I don't want to be tied to this dissonant idea that he has to play in one position. Do you get what I mean? I don't.
And you're right. I don't want. It's not like I mind if he has to fill in on the right or the left from time to time, but predominantly, I want to see a majority of the games through the middle because of what he brings as a pressing number 9 and to Arteta's system. I don't believe Eddie can do what he does pressing wise as well. So
and finishing.
So in terms of starting games, I don't want him to start on the right. I don't mind if there's certain things change during the game and we need to put him there to add another striker and whatever. But predominantly, I don't want him to start. But I hear what you're saying. You're right in terms of if he does well on the right, it's always good. But I want to see.
He's always done well on the right. You know, he's done right. He's done well wherever he's played. That's what I'm saying. Like if you look at his performances and his numbers, like in the games that he has played for City, even though it's fairly limited, like in terms of like the starts, I think he started like 99 games out of like the 150 odd that he played for him or something like that. But yeah, just like he's just looked good wherever he's played. That's the point I'm making. Like, so I have no problem with him playing across the line. And even when his starting position is in the centre, again, he's another player that drifts into either channel.
Yeah, he drifts into the right a lot. He comes in from the right when he scores. If you notice against Chelsea, he was coming in from the right all the time. So
and he scored from coming in on the left as well.
Because he was usually playing on the right at City or the wings. But I hear what you lot are saying. Big up everyone in the comments. Smash the like button. I think there's been as much as 20 people on the stream at once, and there's not even 20 likes, guys. So smash the like button.
Oh, that's a tight ass move. No likes. What's this, mate? Fucking tight asses. It doesn't cost anything. Okay, you know what? It does cost something. I want $1 for a like. Let's see if that works. I'll be sharing, boys. Be sharing.
A few more of these. Silver Fox says, "Give me Paqueta and Tielemans. Stick with Pepe.
Solidify the midfield. Solidify the midfield. Solidify the midfield.
You have too many midfielders.
Can play across the line as well.
And Shay says, and Holding is the new version of Xhaka. We need to get rid of right now. He's not dependent in an intense game.
Yeah, so it looks like
Tony,
we're gonna have
what
to
you
fuck
saying
Holding
about
off,
that?
eh?
Tony, what you saying? He's trying to
Tony's
trigger you
supposed to-
there.
we should
in that
fuck him
comment
off, eh?
now, and Tony's comment's going to be in the thread any minute now, man.
Any minute now, mate. Zaha is a skill player. His finishing has been so poor in the final third these last 2-3 years. Crystal Palace fans I've spoken to thinks he wastes too many chances. Interesting.
He got like 12, 13 goals last season.
I'll tell you what he does do, yeah.
None of our wingers got that.
I'll tell you what he
I think
does
got
do.
12, 13.
There are situations I feel when he takes on the shot when someone is in a better position, and he doesn't always have the awareness to notice that, man. And I think that means he's more wasteful in front of goal than he needs to be, because he's always trying to take that responsibility on for scoring.
Okay.
But you know, a lot of goal scorers, you know, most goal scorers are going to rate themselves when they take a shot. You know, Salah will do it, Mane will do it. You're going to see Jesus waste shots too. You know, it's hard. It's hard to be that clinical.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so it's like sometimes you got to ping it. I mean, don't be Partey trying to ping it. Be Zaha trying to ping it. Maybe you get more of a chance.
Thomas Partey,
Partey's law of averages is freaking wild, bro.
Partey does everything good but shots on goal. Like, fuck me, mate.
Imagine he had that to his game as well, man.
Oh.
Is this real?
Complete
Arsenal
midfielder.
2-1 to Brentford at a behind closed door match at London Colney. We don't care about behind closed doors, mate.
Yeah, we don't talk. It happened behind closed doors, bro.
Yeah, so we don't.
It didn't happen.
So if Arsenal,
that is true. That's worrying.
If Arsenal got Lever, we could keep Abba and play him on the left. That's what DWTT is. I think that's for you, Gunnar.
Yeah, why not? And I think that's what Barcelona have done. That's the plunge they've taken.
Like, that was weird seeing like that Barcelona lineup last night. I'm not gonna lie, man, it was weird, but Dembele looked absolutely levels, mate. I'm so glad he didn't go to Chelsea, regardless of his injury situation. If somehow, some way they get him playing 30 games a season, anyone that can do that is a freaking steal, because he's so talented. He was doing madness last night. But guys, smash the like button. I guess it's safe to say the consensus of this show is we definitely need a winger. That's the consensus. We definitely need to send Pepe onwards. Like, it's the end of the era for him. Like, big him up. I hope he does really well at his next team. If he does, I'm not going to be like, oh, why did he do it at Arsenal? I'll be happy for him that he's enjoying his football again. Go and do your thing. Realistic options, it's looking like Gakpo is the most realistic option. We entertained Bowen today. We entertained a bit of Zaha.
But what are the links saying on Gakpo? Are they really strong?
Every day I'm hearing more and more links, so there must be something there. So I don't know, man. If the option is get Gakpo or don't get a winger, then get Gakpo.
I don't know why we haven't bid for Tillemans.
But
Tillemans is very important.
So that's the thing. We honestly need a centre mid, a number 8, more than we need a fucking winger.
Ooh, Gonçalo Guedes. Good player, but very wasteful.
Sorry, Aussie, what were you saying?
I'm saying we need a number 8 more than we need a winger right now, and we've needed a number 8 for a long time, right?
I think. Yeah, sorry, Carl.
Because our spine is weak, right? You know what I mean, Gunner King? Like, at the moment, our transition from defense to attack is so slow through the midfield that other teams are getting back into position in formation. It's hard for us to break them down. We need a player that can play, that can work the ball. Remember, Santi Cazorla used to do that for us. That was his role. We haven't really replaced him. And so I'm not saying Jack is the worst player, but he's slow in transition. Slow to defense, slow to attack. And Tielemans is the kind of player who's proven in the Premier League. He's not the fastest player in the world, but he can ping a pass. He can get you, you can get him, he can get a goal. He can defend well. He's a decent number 8. And the price that they want for him, 37, I think it's 36 or 37 million. And I think we're holding out. It's fair. It's fair. I rate him higher than fucking Vieira. Like, Vieira's a fucking Vieira's the new Diaby, for God's sake.
Stop it.
I think for
Don't
me,
jinx him early. Don't jinx him so early.
I think for me, I actually that I want a different profile of midfielder. I think I could tolerate Xhaka for another season.
No.
If let me finish. Yeah, if we got a midfielder that can cover for Partey, like
No.
or not just cover for him, but that could compete with him. And the reason I say that, Partey being injured since he's been here in both seasons has cost us. Like we've seen that.
Who
Like
the fuck is
for
this?
me, I say it every day on this channel. Yeah, like we lost top four last season when Partey and Tierney got injured. Like we've taken the measure to buy Zinchenko, who can play for Tierney when Tierney's injured. If Tierney's fit, then he can also play in midfield in Xhaka's role. Whereas if Partey is injured, the drop off from him to El Neni is gargantuan. It's massive. Like throwing Lukonga into that situation for me, like I just think that's a sort of cast into the wall situation. I think for me that's more important. That's why the guy I want is Benacer from AC Milan, because he can also play as an 8.
On that note, we're already doing promotions for tomorrow's show. Okay, we're going to talk about the midfielders that we need for next season. Because this is all about.
Because I was about to correct.
I could see you like looking in to get in there, but I was like, all right, let's not take the subject for tomorrow's show. So big up everyone in the comment section today. Don't forget to smash the like button, share it to all your friends, subscribe if you haven't done it already. This is a great comment to end the show. 20 million in Leno for Tielemans. I'm all in for that. Let us know what you think about that in the comment section, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. Take it easy.